They were so close to fixing this fumble. Daima SJ3 Vegeta gets too much hate. He can be a decent slot 1 tank, but what they were about to do with this unit would have made him so much better. But the issue is, in order to do so, you have to summon on this scam of a banner. It costs 100 Dragon Stones to summon on this banner. Yes, there is a guarantee that you'll get one of the featured units, but right before the global Dokkan campaign, do not summon on this. I've already seen people summon on it like, oh, it's so worth it. I can't believe I got my Imp Broly and whatever. Like, yes, Imp Broly's decent, but like he's not running the game right now. And here's the thing is, look at these equips, right? These equips are so good, right? The 900 defense to DAIMAgeta, 1200 defense on the silver, right? These are amazing equips that are very imperative for this unit. Now you may be thinking like, well, these equips can't change him that much, right? They really can. Here's some calculations I did with the unit. I did this with the bronze and the silver equipped, and then for the gold equipped, what I did was I changed it to a 600 defense. You can do that on one of the EX orbs is a dodge and defense. So I equipped that to him, added and calculated it all up. What you see on the screen right now is, and I didn't damage calc, so I don't know about the damage, but as you can see right here, this is him with doing 3 supers. So like turn 1, he has a 90% damage reduction, and then he does 3 supers that turn. This is the following turn. Pre-super, by the way, because you got to remember, he does get more defense after he attacks again. Now, granted, you're not worried about him really tanking after he attacks. Of course, you're mostly worried about what he's taking before. With these defensive equips, no Super Saiyan 4 Goku, by the way, he's taking a 7 mil super opposite class type neutral for 376k. That's very good. Now, the problem is, though, is in order to get him to be decent, you get to summon on this banner. Is it worth 100 stones to quote unquote, I wouldn't say easy A him, but just to make him better? Because I'm 99% certain, if I recall correctly, if you were to, whatchamacallit, it's just like, is it worth it, right? Like, is it worth spending all of that? What you see on screen right here is when he does 4 supers. So basically he gets the full passive, along with, I'm trying to find it. I'm sorry, hold up. Here we go. Like, it's when you launches an additional attack after receiving attack. He took a super, he did his normal super, and then he got a hidden potential super, right? That's what you're looking at here. Full kit, 38k. From a 7 mil super. Very impressive, by the way. Again, no support. This is like no 40% support. There is no SSJ4 Goku, which you would double-digit tank the 7 mil super. I'm just putting this on screen as reference. I mean, I know there's harder hits than 7 million. I just think that's a good range to kind of look at for what he can tank, and it's pretty good. I mean, he should still be able to tank STR Jiren in the Vegeta's story red zone, but the reason why the equips are so good, though, is this, right? He doesn't have a lot of raw stats in his quick kit, right? He just has the 200% defense, well, attack and defense, on start of turn. That's his only start of turn buff. And then after that, he gets a multiplicative 200% defense when receiving an attack. This is the reason why his raw stats matter so much. If you can get his raw stats up and up and up with those equips, then this multiplier hits so different. It just escalates his defense to another level, even if you're only adding on about 1,000 to 1,200 defense from equips alone. So it's like the drastic change. Like, I'm pretty certain when I was calculating him, this was like almost 600k. Pretty close to 600k with just the equips I have on him right now, which was a level 5 in the bronze slot, and then had a plus 600 defense in the silver slot. Again, he's only 55%, but still, I mean, 100%, DAIMAgeta with just the equips I had was like 600k right here. And I also do want to mention as well, this is, of course, a 100% DAIMAgeta. This is not calculum at 55%. You're probably going to still see him take about 600k at 55% or 500k. Again, I'm not exactly certain how much of that swing is. Well, actually, it'll be a lot because you're only, plus 2,000 to stats. So you're probably still missing a ton of stats on here. So, you're not going to be tanking as well 55%. which is the reason why I'm talking about there's really no point to summon on this banner. It's just this huge L though. Because this ticket, regardless if you had a 55% DAIMAgeta or 100% DAIMAgeta, would have made him so much better. What's even worse is all of these units on this banner would be so much better if you had this ticket, and I'm almost certain you only can do one multi. So you can only choose, for the equip for DAIMAgeta, for Scouter Vegeta, for Tech Vegeta, for LR Imp Broly, he's somewhere on this list. These are all the equips people that have their own unique equips. Imp Broly, LR Tech UI is on here somewhere, and Slug. All of these units that could have gotten unique equips, and that are on this level, with the plus 900, plus 1200, like all of them have the plus 2100 defense. Like that is huge when you're calculating for these units, because that's just so much extra stats on a unit to make them tank a ton better, especially again for a unit like this who has a high damage reduction, but it just has a low start of turn defensive stat. But when you add equips, he starts to become an absolute juggernaut. And again, like I said, these are the calcs with him without Super Saiyan 4 Goku. With Super Saiyan 4 Goku, this guy is like taking nothing. But again, do I recommend summoning on this banner just to give DAIMAgeta some life? The answer is no, right? Especially if you don't have him 100% or you're close to 100%. If you have him 55%, I promise you it's not going to make that much of a difference in tanking because he's probably not surviving much regardless. But if you have him 100% or 90%, maybe it's worth summoning. But are you really going to spend 100 stones just to give DAIMAgeta an extra 1,000-ish defense? It doesn't move him to top 3, right? It doesn't move him to the top 5, right? Like, if that ticket specifically made DAIMAgeta that good, then we can have the conversation of, yeah, I would throw 100 stones at this banner because now, well, first of all, we know he's going to be an important asset to the Daima team, most likely, but that's also the reason why I'm pretty hesitant on even spending on the ticket in the first place, is because I know there's most likely, for example, if they release an adult Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, then he is probably going to have something in his kit to help out the mini Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. So, and if you're trying to just summon for mini Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, or Imp Broly, or Trio, there's a notice, which I don't know where it's at, but there's a notice in the news saying those 3 units are coming soon. Shocker, shocker, DAIMAgeta on a Daima banner, who could have saw that coming, and these 2 are worldwide units, of course they're coming back on the worldwide banner right now. Now, if you don't have Slug or Tech UI or Scouter Vegeta and you really, you're burning desires to get him, then sure, whatever. Go spend the 100 stones and go get him. If you really want to, I do not recommend summoning at all. It's just not worth it. None of these units right now are top 5 in any category. They're just not. They're good units. They're great. I mean, Trio is good right now for Million Arena. But if you're already out or you just don't care for Million Arena or you're willing to spend 100 stones for Million Arena, sure, pick them up. But you can't even use them in their next round because next round's tournament participants. So really there's no point in picking them up. There's any of these units, I just they're just not good right now. I mean, Tech UI could become good if we escape the dodge canceling meta, but overall, I mean, the ticket was so hype. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, these units are about to become really good because they have these amazing equips. Now, I will say something, and I will give Amatsu somewhat credit, right? First of all, this is a good bait banner because a lot of people see these equips, they're like, oh my gosh, these are good equips. Oh my gosh, I don't have these units. Oh my gosh, they're awakened. This is a good value. But 2, what I would give Amatsu credit for is I hope he does this in the future. And I know it's very controversial to what I'm saying right now, but I hope he does this in the future with better equips. If in this gold slot, for example, Vegeta got guard, a 20% chance to guard or a 10% chance to guard, I would summon. If you make equips like Legends, where you make equips so valuable that it completely changes the way the unit is used, that is something that is worth summoning for. 100 stones to basically quote-unquote easy A your unit before an easy A or after an easy A or after a super easy A is a great route to go, in my opinion, if you keep it in this format, because the value is not terrible. Right? If we were not going into the global Dokkan celebration, if this came out for Saiyan Day, right? And maybe instead of DAIMAgeta, it's Daima Goku, right? Or something like that, or Buhan, I don't want it too recent. But if this was the banner that came out for Saiyan Day, and then you have these equips come out for these units, you know, I feel like there'd be a lot more summons on this banner. But of course, now we're so close to one of the biggest celebrations of the year. You know, no one's going to summon for this if you're sane. And again, I just don't think the equipments are just good enough to make people feel tempted. I think they're good equips. I really do. And I do think they changed DAIMAgeta. But I don't think it's worth 100 stones to get these equips just to almost make them usable under 100%. At Rainbowed, it does make him fairly usable, but he's still useless out of slot 1. So let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think it's a good idea for them to continue doing this? And if so, why? And if not, you know, leave a comment below. I feel like a lot of people are not going to agree with me saying, I think this is a good concept, but the equips have to be so much better. Like, this should be like a level 12 defense. Like, match the silver slot, 1200, 1200, and then have like another 1200 defense, and then a chance to guard. And everybody would be summoning for this unit, because that's what makes such a drastic difference for this unit. But they would have to do stuff like that in the future for me to think that this is a good idea. I think the concept of exclusive equips for units through banners is a fine idea if they go all out. But again, let me know your thoughts below. And if you guys enjoy the voice content, click the description below. There'll be a playlist for you to click to check out all my voice content. If you just want more Dokkan Battle content and just in general, click the link right below it. You'll have a playlist for all of my Dokkan Battle videos I've published since the beginning of this channel. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.